Welcome to Streaming News Network, where we deliver balanced reporting with the facts that matter. The Morning Edition by Claude McDaniel. Please like and subscribe.
This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. A growing political controversy is unfolding in California over the wording of a statewide ballot measure that would establish new voter identification requirements. Supporters of Proposition 39 say California Attorney General Rob Bonta significantly changed the ballot title and summary after the measure qualified for the November ballot. They argue the revised language presents the proposal more negatively than an earlier description released while signatures were being gathered. The proposed measure would require voters casting ballots in person to present government-issued identification. Those voting by mail would need to provide the last 4 digits of an identification number. The proposal also calls for additional reporting on citizenship verification, compliance audits, and would require the state to provide voter identification cards upon request. Supporters contend the updated ballot language emphasizes restrictions on voting while omitting provisions they believe would make the measure more accessible. Several Republican lawmakers have accused the Attorney General of attempting to influence public perception before the election. The measure qualified for the November ballot after supporters submitted more than 962,000 valid signatures. California voters will now decide whether the proposal becomes law. Neither the California Attorney General's office nor the California Secretary of State had publicly addressed the criticism at the time of reporting. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. A 16-year-old has been charged as an adult in connection with the fatal shooting of 2 siblings inside their Baltimore County, Maryland, home earlier this month. Authorities say Keith Maurice James Jr. faces 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 firearms-related charge in the deaths of 15-year-old Giovanna Myrie and her 9-year-old brother, Steve Allen. The children's mother discovered them inside their Gwynn Oak home on July 7 and called emergency services. According to investigators, witness interviews, cell phone location data, surveillance video, and digital evidence led detectives to identify the suspect. Police allege the teenager had previously visited the home and had been communicating with Giovanna before the shootings. Court documents also allege that text messages contained threats directed toward the 15-year-old victim. Investigators say surveillance footage showed the suspect traveling by bus to and from the area around the time of the killings, while cell phone data placed him nearby. Baltimore County Police Chief Robert McCullough described the crime as deeply disturbing and emphasized the importance of parents remaining aware of their children's relationships and online interactions. The suspect is being held without bail. The charges are allegations, and he is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. A dramatic confrontation at Denver International Airport has drawn national attention after federal immigration agents detained a 27-year-old Ecuadorian woman as she prepared to board a flight. According to the Department of Homeland Security, Chantal Alejandra Morales Rojas was taken into custody by Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents because she allegedly remained in the United States after her authorized period of stay expired. Officials said she entered the country on a temporary exchange visitor visa in October of 2024 and was authorized to remain until early January of 2025. Video recorded by bystanders shows several passengers confronting federal agents during the arrest, with some shouting profanities and criticizing immigration and customs enforcement. Agents warned at least one individual that interfering with federal officers could result in criminal charges before escorting the woman from the boarding area. The Department of Homeland Security said individuals who are in the country without legal authorization are encouraged to use the government's voluntary departure program through the Customs and Border Protection Home application. The agency stated that those who do not comply with immigration laws may face arrest and removal proceedings. Supporters of Morales Rojas have launched an online fundraising campaign, claiming she has a pending immigration application and is being held at an Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention facility. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. The United States House of Representatives has passed the Stop Insider Trading Act, legislation intended to limit stock trading by members of Congress and their immediate families while they serve in office. The bill passed by a vote of 232 to 198, with support from most Republicans and several Democrats. If enacted, lawmakers, their spouses, and dependent children would be prohibited from purchasing individual publicly traded stocks in the future. They would still be permitted to invest in diversified funds, such as mutual funds and exchange-traded funds. The legislation would not require members of Congress to sell stocks they already own. Instead, existing holdings could be retained or sold, provided advance public notice is filed before any sale. One of the measure's most debated provisions is that it does not apply to the president or vice president. Supporters say presidents are governed by a separate set of federal ethics and financial disclosure requirements, while critics argue the same restrictions should apply to all elected federal leaders. Ethics experts remain divided. Some have called the bill meaningful progress toward reducing conflicts of interest, while others say exempting the nation's highest executive offices leaves a significant gap in the proposed reforms. The measure now moves to the United States Senate, where its future remains uncertain. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. An inquest in England has revealed heartbreaking new details about the deaths of two teenagers who drowned after their car left the roadway and overturned into an icy, water-filled ditch earlier this year. 17-year-old Adam Dudzinski and 16-year-old Chloe-Ann Naylor died following the January 3 crash near the village of Ewade in Kent. A third 16-year-old passenger survived after becoming trapped in the back seat of the vehicle. According to testimony presented during the inquest, the surviving passenger recalled Adam repeatedly saying, "I am sorry, I am so sorry," after the crash. She also said Chloe-Ann encouraged her by tapping her leg, giving her the confidence to unbuckle her seat belt and escape from the submerged vehicle. The teenagers had been reported missing, and the survivor's father eventually located the overturned car using a mobile phone location-sharing application. Emergency responders arrived at the scene, but Adam and Chloe-Ann were pronounced dead. Investigators concluded there was no evidence that the vehicle was exceeding the posted speed limit. However, they determined it was likely traveling too fast for the icy road conditions. The court also heard that the driver did not hold a valid driver's license and was uninsured at the time of the crash. The tragedy has prompted an outpouring of support, with community fundraising efforts established to assist both families. This is Claude McDaniel of Streaming News Network. A heated discussion on Fox News The Five has generated widespread reaction on social media following a segment focused on immigration and customs enforcement policies and the national immigration debate. The exchange featured Jessica Tarlov, Greg Gutfeld, Jesse Waters, Dana Perino, and Emily Compagno discussing immigration enforcement, political rhetoric, and recent immigration-related controversies. Following the broadcast, some viewers expressed frustration on social media, with several saying they skipped or stopped watching the program because of Tarlov's participation. Others criticized her role on the panel and threatened to boycott the network. Those reactions were widely circulated online, although there has been no indication that they represent broader audience trends or changes in the program's ratings. During the discussion, Greg Gutfeld argued that increasingly hostile political rhetoric can discourage meaningful debate, while Jessica Tarlov responded by citing public opinion polling and specific immigration-related cases to challenge that perspective. The exchange reflects the format that has made The Five one of cable television's most watched political programs, with panelists representing differing viewpoints on major issues. While some viewers welcome those debates, others find the confrontational style less appealing. At this time, Fox News has not announced any programming changes in response to the online criticism. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Authorities in South Carolina are investigating a fatal alligator attack after a woman was killed near a lagoon at a golf course community, renewing concerns about encounters between people and wildlife in the state's coastal region. The South Carolina Department of Natural Resources reminds residents and visitors that alligators may be present in virtually any pond, lagoon, canal, or other body of water throughout the coastal plain. As residential neighborhoods, golf courses, and resort developments continue to expand, interactions between people and alligators have become more common. State officials encourage the public to remain well back from the water's edge, closely supervise children and pets, and never feed alligators. Wildlife experts warn that feeding causes alligators to lose their natural fear of humans, increasing the risk of dangerous encounters. South Carolina's wildlife policy generally does not allow alligators to be relocated. Instead, animals are removed only after they are officially determined to be a nuisance or an immediate threat to public safety. Officials have not yet released a detailed incident report outlining the exact circumstances of this attack, and investigators continue working to determine what occurred. Wildlife authorities say the tragedy serves as an important reminder that even man-made lagoons and golf course ponds should be treated as natural alligator habitat, particularly during the warmer months when the animals are most active. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. A New York couple is facing multiple felony charges after authorities say they intentionally started a fire inside their home while their 5 children were still inside the residence. Police in Minoa, located in Onondaga County, say 49-year-old Dale O'Neill and 47-year-old Aubrey O'Neill were arrested following the July 18 incident. Emergency responders arrived after receiving reports of a house fire, which had already been extinguished before firefighters reached the scene. According to investigators, all 5 children, each under the age of 17, safely evacuated the home and were not injured. Police allege the couple had been drinking before the incident. Investigators claim Dale O'Neill poured gasoline onto the floor of the home's second level, and Aubrey O'Neill then ignited it with a lighter while knowing the children were inside the house. Authorities say the fire caused only minor damage. Court documents also allege Aubrey O'Neill told investigators she did not believe the gasoline would ignite and reportedly stated that it was not arson if nothing burned down. Both defendants have been charged with arson, reckless endangerment, conspiracy, and multiple counts of endangering the welfare of a child. The charges are allegations, and both are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. The couple remains in custody, and the children have been placed with relatives while the case proceeds. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Authorities in Southern California are investigating the suspicious death of a 63-year-old man whose body was discovered at a public park in Rialto. Police say a passerby called emergency services early on the morning of July 19 after finding the body of Jose de Jesus Arriaga Loza lying on the grass at Rialto City Park. Investigators reported that the victim was found without clothing, while his clothing, wallet, cash, and driver's license were recovered from a nearby trash can. Officials also noted injuries to his face that they say are consistent with either a fall or a physical altercation. At this time, investigators have not determined how Mr. Loza ended up at the park or what caused his death. Police say robbery does not appear to have been a motive, and the case is being investigated as a suspicious death. Family members described Mr. Loza as a respected cook and a devoted father with no known conflicts. His son said he hopes surveillance video from the surrounding area and information from the public will help investigators determine what happened and provide the family with long-awaited answers. Authorities are asking anyone with information related to the case to contact the Rialto Police Department.
Thank you for viewing Streaming News Network videos and also short and special reports. Please like, subscribe, and tap the bell to be notified of additional reports.